We listen to a lot of people. We listen to healthcare experts, we listen to law enforcement, we listen to gun rights advocates. There was really, if you had an opinion, we wanted to hear it. And I know in doing that, sometimes we didn't, it was an inefficient process. Listening's inefficient. And we changed courses on several occasions, but in the end, we built a proposal that has strong bipartisan support and is going to help keep our community safer, and that's what ultimately the public wants us to do.
Yeah, so I know that there's been some pushback from different sides, in terms of addressing like bump stocks, red flag laws, those types of things, assault weapons. Do you think with like Dick's Sporting Goods making their announcement recently and other type of large manufacturers, have you noticed a change in the national conversation, or since recent events, at least local conversation?
Well, I think there's certainly a difference in the local conversation as it relates to the shooting that occurred here, but there's a change in the national conversation. It doesn't mean that everybody has had a change of heart on this, and it doesn't mean that people's Second Amendment rights somehow now don't need to be protected. There's a way, if people are willing to listen and work through these things, that we can make it safer without infringing on the rights of law-abiding citizens. I am a gun owner. I am somebody who has received support from the NRA in the past, and that's why I felt good about calling them to task to say, hey, come sit down with us, help us work this out. We want to keep guns out of the hands of criminals and people who have been deemed illegal. It was illegally deemed to be able to own a firearm. Help us keep the guns out of their hands, because I don't think any law-abiding Second Amendment rights person or somebody who doesn't believe that you should be able to own guns, everybody can rally around the idea that criminals and dangerous people shouldn't have guns. So let's get together, design a program to be able to do this, and we were able to do so.
Have you heard from the NRA about the bill, or have you heard any specifics from them about their reaction to it?
Well, right now we haven't heard them complain about it, which is good news. And but we appreciate the efforts that people made to sit down with us and work it through. Look, in the end, we didn't do a red flag law because we wanted to help the person, not just take the gun away. We want to get them into mental health treatment, make sure their due process rights were respected. And then, if in a court of law they don't need to have a weapon or a gun, then they can turn them over to the court, or the police can collect them. Did things like that. Background checks. We have background checks for private sales that will basically make sure that you're not allowed to sell a gun to a criminal or somebody who the court has said is not allowed to own a gun without infringing on the rights of a law-abiding citizen in any way. There are ways that you can do this that strike that balance.
And do you think it will pass the General Assembly?
I'm confident that it's got a great chance to pass the General Assembly. And we have a sponsor, State Senator Matt Dolan from Cleveland, and a lot of legislators from both parties who said they want to be involved in helping make it reality.
And just finally, having drafted it, what do you hope that, like we said, locally, we've been very affected here. I know you're from the area and have a relationship. After the shootings, what do you hope that Dayton citizens take away from the bill, or what are you hoping they get from
well, I hope they know that we listened. As the crowd said that night, they said, do something. We're doing something, and that will make the community safer and will serve as a way to bring people together. This is a starting point to bring people together to solve these complicated problems that heretofore nobody's been able to solve. And when I say solve, it doesn't mean that the passive of this will eliminate gun violence. It just will make it harder for people who shouldn't have guns to get access to those guns, and make it more likely, if somebody is a threat to themselves or somebody else, that they will get the treatment and help that they need to avoid a tragic incident.
Perfect. Thank you so much.